Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Inside Islanders, powered by Stake News. In this episode, we speak to our ISL League Shield winning coach Des Buckingham about a sensational month of February. We also talk to him about his experience being at the Mumbai Football Arena with the fans as we lifted the ISL League Shield, and we also talk to him about the work that the squad is putting in ahead of the playoffs. Welcome back to Inside Islanders. Lovely to have you as always, Coach. Firstly, congratulations. It's been a fantastic month. And I think I'm going to start off this episode with a very important question, something that everybody is dying to hear your thoughts on. The question's very simple. All you have to do is finish the sentence. Your sentence is Championes, Championes, and up to you to finish.
Of India?
Of India. Ole, ole. There we go. That's now it is official. But yes, it's been a fantastic month. It's been historic. We've broken so many records. We've got our hands on the ISL League Winners Shield. How was that moment against FC Goa? And what was the preparation like? Because I'm sure everybody in the squad knew the importance of the game, considering Hyderabad had just dropped points. So what was the atmosphere going into the Goa game?
The same as it always has been so far this season. You know, we watched as a staff group, as we do every game. We watched the Hyderabad game the night before, and we knew that we put ourselves in a real strong position to, if we won that game in Goa, to pick the Shield up maybe a little bit earlier than we thought we might. But nothing really changed. The players went about their business the way that they always have done. Even when we went 1-0 down, there was no panic. It reminded me very much of the Chennai game when we went 1 down and 2 down. There was no panic, regardless of what people knew was on the game. And that's probably the most pleasing thing. It's that they trust what we do and how we do it. And because, again, they stuck true to what we do and how we do it, we were able to come away with a result. And I think the way that the result ended, which was 5-3, kind of sums up maybe some of the football that we want to play, which was nice.
And that's perfectly on the money, because I was watching the game at home with my wife, and as soon as Goa scored the first goal, my wife looks at me and she's like, "Oh no, what's gonna happen?" I'm like, "It's all right. It's an early goal. Have faith. This is gonna be turned around very soon." And I was proven right thanks to you. So I have won up over my wife thanks to you and the boys. So lots to thank you guys for. Now, the celebrations after the FC Goa game, obviously after we realized that we have won the ISL Shield, worked fantastic. They were great for all of us to see who were watching from home. But what was that moment like for you as the coach of this team when that final whistle went off and you knew in that one moment that you are ISL League Shield winners?
It's not an emotion I can quite explain. I think there's a short video of me after the game that shows a little bit of emotion maybe, but I caught myself quite quickly. But it was more just hugely proud of what we've been able to achieve. You know, I think people obviously see what we do on the TV, but they don't see how hard everybody works behind the scenes here. And I include the staff group and the players on a daily basis here. And there's a lot of people that go through their footballing careers and don't have something to show for it in terms of a trophy. The trophy for us is a kind of cherry on top, because I think it's more important about how we've gone about winning games of football and playing that's allowed us to go on and achieve what we have done. And for that trophy to come when it did was a hugely nice feeling personally. But I know it's, again, another measure as a club. We want to be successful. And it's, again, people often will judge a success based upon what you have won.
Yeah. And of course, then was the trophy presentation, the Shield presentation at the Mumbai Football Arena. Of course, the last time we won the Shield, unfortunately, fans weren't around. This time it was extra special because it was at home. It was with all the Mumbai fans, all the faithful were there. What was your takeaway from that very special night at the arena?
It was really nice. I had family myself at the game, and I know all the players did. Well, the majority of them did, and I know there was a lot of people that couldn't be there that maybe wanted to have been there. But for those that were there, to be able to share those moments with people that are special to you, and for me that's family, friends, and fans, of course. Yeah, it's so nice in life where you're fortunate that we knew regardless that trophy was coming, and that hard work had banked that trophy, and it allowed us to kind of approach that game in the manner which we did. But to share that with so many people, like you said, after especially 2 years of isolation and bubbles and maybe not being able to do it the last time, was was very nice. A very nice moment for everybody.
Yeah. Now I'm going to ask you another tough question, and you're really going to have to think hard about this because it encompasses the entire season. What would you describe as the moment, the Shield winning moment through our progress this entire season?
I think it's difficult to pinpoint one. I think there's a few moments in this season. I think Kerala Blasters away, first half, I thought we played extremely well, and it kind of set the tone as to what we wanted and had been trying to do for a long time in the league. The Chennai game, when we went 2 down and come back to win 6-2, that showed that there was a real belief in what we were doing and people stuck true to it. There was the game against ATK Mumbai away, where we won 1-0. Played very well first half and then defended extremely well, which is maybe a side of our game that people hadn't seen or spoken about before, and certainly showed that we could defend if we needed to. And then, of course, Jamshedpur away, where we were 1-0 down with 10 minutes to go. We managed to get 2 goals in the final 10 minutes in that game. So there's probably 4 or 5 key moments, and then of course the Goa game, where you don't know you've won it until that full-time whistle goes. But probably 4 or 5 different moments in the season that were all equally as important, but for different reasons.
Yeah, and we've definitely seen every type of victory for the club this entire season. You know, like you said, we've had the hard-fought ones, we've had the supposedly easy ones where we score 3 goals, 4 goals. We've had all of them. Now, unfortunately, we also have to speak about the 2 losses because that also happened. Unfortunately, our unbeaten run coming to an end. Now, when I play FIFA and I lose, I smash the controller, sometimes on my friend who's just beaten me. I've spent a lot of money on controllers, but you, sir, are definitely a smarter man than me. You look very calm, very composed. So how was dealing with that first loss away to Bengaluru for you and the squad? What was discussed after the game?
I think the first thing is, I've said this all along, we don't get too high or too low based upon the result. We've got a way that we want to work, and we've shown that if we can do that more often than not, that often brings results. Now, when you put that into context, that was the first loss for us in 12 months in the league. It was the first loss of the season in terms of the league. So when you put it in that context, it's, nobody wants to lose a game, and I think the frustration outside certainly would have been because we were so close to maybe going unbeaten. But I think from the moment we got to Bangalore, obviously we went out for the warm-up, and Greg Stewart rolled his ankle walking across the pitch on the sort of the drainage system that they have. So it wasn't a good start to that because we had to change a couple of things. Now, it's not an excuse and a reason, but we tried to make sure we won that game, but we didn't. But when you put it in the context of what we have done and what's been the last 12 months, you have to look at it in that rather than just one isolated game. And then when we look at the East Bengal game, with us not being able to go unbeaten because of that game, we used that East Bengal game as an opportunity for 2 things. The first was to make sure we protected our players because we knew we'd won the Shield. The outcome of that game, we still put a team out that we wanted to win the game, but we need to look after our players to make sure we have everybody available for the semi-final. And the reality was we had 5 starting players that were on the yellow card threshold, and if they'd have been booked in East Bengal, we'd have missed them from the first leg of the semi-final. We had a couple of players that were carrying slight knocks, and again, there's no need to risk them. And then the other was to reward and have a look at our young players. And I said after the game, I was delighted with those I think we had 5 debutants. 2 of them started at Hardik and Harlan especially. And the way that they played, the way they stood up, for me was a real good chance to have a look at those players in and amongst some of our senior guys as well, whilst also protecting us and making sure that when we arrive in that first leg of the semi-final, we have everybody available to us, but we also now know that we have some very good young players that can play.
Yeah, and that last game was really special for us fans as well for that specific reason, because not only was the Shield presented, but also we got to see these young players make their bow for Mumbai City FC. As a coach, what were the words that you told them, especially youngsters like Hardik or Harlan who were making their first starts and their debuts for the club? Somebody like Ayush who was starting for the first time, somebody like Gyamar who came on as well. All young boys, all really, really exciting to watch. What were your words as a coach to them?
Just go out and do what they've shown us on the training field. I've said before, they don't get on the pitch on the field, the starting 11, or onto the pitch in the games as a token gesture. That's not what we do here. They got on the pitch because they deserve to be on the pitch. But it was very much just go and enjoy yourselves, but enjoy yourself doing what you've shown you can do on the training pitch for the last 2 to 3 months. And You know, you look at Hardik, we brought in last month. I thought he'd done well. Harlan, I thought he was fantastic up against Clayton Silver and Jarvis. And then, like you said, we brought Raul Apulia in. And Raul Apulia has been with us since Dubai at the start of pre-season, and he's worked and waited extremely long. Ayush led the line. We actually went with an all-Indian front three. So obviously Bipin and Chante have done well on the wings, but in terms of trying to develop Indian centre forwards now, we've obviously got Guri, who we know what he can do. There's a chance to see Ayush. And then young Asif coming on as well to give some more game time in and amongst everybody else. So it was a really nice moment, but again, it was deserved. There was nothing given to them. They've worked extremely hard, and you need to trust them. And I'm so pleased that we did that, and I'm so pleased with the way that they played.
Yeah, and Harlan and Hardik for me were standout performers, because Harlan also had a great opportunity on goal. What a dream debut that would have been. But regardless, we're still very excited for the future, because we know now as fans what these boys can do, and the future just looks really, really exciting. All right, now before we enter into our final segment, or the last question, I have to ask you the customary question. What was your Stake News moment of the month? And I think there's only one right answer to this one.
The full-time whistle, go away in the Fatorda. Yeah. I said at the start of the season, it just funny enough that they asked me what away game was I looking forward to the most, and I said actually going back to the Fatorda. I didn't realise what would be on that game at the time, but I said going back to Goa because we were so well looked after in the bubble when we spent there last year. We obviously played a lot of times in my first season at the Fatorda as one of the games, or one of the stadiums we used. But I didn't realise the occasion that it would bring. So when the referee finally, in what turned out to be an 8-goal game, blew the whistle for the full time, some of those memories, not just about what we've done, but the celebrations, they'll stick with me for life. So that was certainly my moment of the month.
Awesome. My final question to you is another tough one, and again, this is going to be tricky for you, but how would you rate this season, this entire league season, from 1 to 10? How would you rate it?
Well, that's a difficult question.
Yeah.
Probably say a 7. I think there's a lot more we can do and want to do and need to do. I think we've done well. So you rattle off the records that you just mentioned at the start, but there are a lot of records that have been broken. I'm very happy with how this team is playing, but we want to do more. We want to be the best we can be, and for us to do that, we have to keep getting better. There's moments in the season where we need to be better, and there'll be moments in the knockouts and next season where we want to get better. So yeah, it's maybe a 7, I think.
All right, perfect. That's absolutely great. Thank you so much once again for joining us, Des. It's been a lovely, lovely time having you. Congratulations for the League Shield and best of luck for the playoffs. Let's bring that trophy home.
Pleasure.
See you.
Thank you.
See you guys.